is a bit of a uncertain field. There's a huge amount of it depends in this, and sometimes some will work and sometimes some won't.
It's kind of like tools or any process. There's no silver bullet metric. It's just what you need for your particular situation.
It just makes it so hard for people starting off. Every time I go and give a quality coaching class, it's like, can you tell me the metrics I should use? And I'm like, well, not really, but tell me what are you trying to achieve? And I sort of try and give a few heuristics around what are potentially things to look out for. But at the end of the day, really the team should be working on what these metrics should be. As a team, let's try and figure out something that will help us shift forward and understand how do we know we have good quality? How can we start measuring things so we can understand that question?
Yeah. Like with the rework rate, for example, we're very early on in collecting it. And I think it's the sort of thing where you maybe need a large amount of data over a period of time to really sort of start getting good information. But I think even just sort of doing the process of going, oh, okay, I guess we will track something, will start people on the path of being like, oh, well, this isn't working, but maybe there's other things that we can track.
I think that's great. I love it. And, I think there's that as long as you're retrospectively, if you're having a retro on it, it's like, well, what have we learned from measuring this? What have we gotten out of this in the last month or so? What have we learned? Is this useful? And if it's not, let's dump it. There's a lot of flexibility we could allow ourselves. Sometimes I think we sort of feel like we have to, we make this big decision and it's entrenched in concrete, but actually doesn't necessarily have to be in that way at all.
Yeah, people forget to be agile.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We touched on it lightly about influencing people and coaching and having empathy. Would you have anything to add to that, Tim?
Well, I think the key to influencing people is to building up your relationship glue with them. And that could be at a team level, it could be at an individual level. But I think that's like the very first thing you need to be doing is before you can influence anybody, you need to understand them and get to know them and understand their pain and figure out what their needs are and their motivations and what do they want. I think that's the crucial first step that I guess people sometimes forget to do. It's like, oh, how do I coach these people? How do I enact change with this group of people? And the first thing you got to do is you got to understand them. I think that's generally the key, I think, to influencing people. A good way to be doing that is to actually, at the outset, to be recognizing the good things that they do. Not coming in, bashing down the door, being like, everything's low quality. What's going on? We need to be making a difference here. It's more like looking at the things that they are doing great and trying to recognize those aspects and building up the confidence in you as an individual. They start to trust you. And then over time, you can start holding them to account or getting them to think deeper about these things that they're doing. That's basically my philosophy on that.
Yeah. It's easier than said than done. I find quality coaching can be tough.
Oh, yes.
Change is difficult for a lot of people. And I even look around at ourselves at times like this where, there's so much uncertainty around us and our tendency to want to clamp down. If you think about the amount of uncertainty that's happening in a lot of workplaces with rapid growth, rapid change, companies are being asked to scale, to grow constantly, that this can create, not for everyone, of course, but can create a uncertainty. And I think it's really valuable to understand that people potentially have a lot of other stressors that they're dealing with, and we could all do well to be kind to each other, I think.
I guess that's where the sort of having empathy for people and understanding where they're at is really important.
I think we might just wrap up here, Tim. It's been absolutely lovely chatting to you. I have got so many notes here about the points that you've talked about. I really look forward to hearing about these metrics and how they turn out. So we might get you back on the show in a while later just to see how things are going in that space.
Yeah, that'd be great. I had a lot of fun. It was good.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. All the best.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.